30 days of CrossFit. Why? We gotta rewind back to the middle of October when my nightmare of nightmares happened. When I opened my YouTube app to see a video with a big red arrow saying, "Keltie should not be doing this." My heart sank. I decided to watch it out of confusion, honestly. It was a full video critiquing my weight training form, which you think would spark anger in me, but really it sparked a reality check. Said video was my first time back under a barbell in close to 2 years.
I have not lifted heavy with a barbell since pre-COVID, so we're gonna,
My confidence was at a zero, and my form and mobility were rusty. I had two choices: let it discourage me, or take this as a learning opportunity and start working towards getting my strength and weightlifting form back. And what does my 0 to 100 personality think? CrossFit! Which is probably not my best decision looking back on this video, but we'll get to that. So what is CrossFit? It started in 2000 by Greg Glassman in a gym he built in Santa Cruz, California, who started as a gymnast doing bodyweight movements when he was younger and later incorporated weight training and cycling as another way to round out his athleticism. This multi-exercise approach is how he trained his clients, which was growing in such a demand he turned it into a group activity.
Here's day one. We're gonna test kind of the 9 fundamental starting point. Humble.
Day one, there's the 7 foundational moves of CrossFit, and then the compound movements we all know: squat, deadlift. Then there's the push-pull, medicine ball clean, push press, front squat. I went to the gym and tested out where my form was at the start. So I signed up for my first CrossFit class. Well, I was denied for my first CrossFit class.
Beginners will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do CrossFit." I'm like, there's a lot you need to know.
I passed a 2 to 4 week introduction course before I was even allowed to participate in a CrossFit class.
I feel my confidence is low under the bar right now.
I won't lie, I was a little butthurt at first.
I used to do powerlifting and CrossFit style lifts. I can hold my own.
I thought to myself, and then I remembered that was a long time ago, and I just recently started getting in weight training again. So yes, I needed to start from the beginning.
Harry, who filmed the original video that sparked this video, me and him actually had several conversations, and he reached out after I left a comment on his channel of being like, you know what, I do have to work on my form, and he's been helping and giving me just a little few cues that I can work on.
Drive it into your back, and by that I mean when it's there, really focus on pulling the bar down, almost like a lat pull down.
So I had my personal trainer, and also had Harry, and then just some friends helping me work on my compound movements as I get into these CrossFit classes. Because as much as they're fun and there's the flashy things, you have to have that foundation. You have to have a proper squat, push press.
And the reality is my foundation things weren't as great as they should be. It's a 7-part intro course, which honestly seems frustrating at first. But trust me, that is a good sign, as that is what you want from a gym if you're gonna go into CrossFit. If a gym just throws you to the wolves with no mandatory introduction program on how to properly lift, do not go to that gym. So I was doing 2 times a week with a personal trainer. Then on my own, I was doing WODs, workout a day, WD, whatever you want to call it, that I knew my current exercise form could handle. We're talking body weight exercises, running, more calisthenics, which I've been doing the last 2 years for COVID. Not for COVID, during COVID. You know what I meant. Don't mind me looking like this, but this is so you get a representation of how I feel. Talk about how I'm feeling after getting back into it after all the time off. And right away, like at the start, I was so motivated. Like you're off just motivation, you're like, I want to feel powerful, I want this. And it's a really fun feeling. And now I'm like midway through the week, and I'm like, why am I doing this? That's the cool thing about our bodies, is if you just repeatedly show up, you'll look back in a couple weeks, month, and you'll just be shocked, be like, whoa, I can do that. I just have to keep reminding myself, I have another workout tomorrow, and every part of me wants to cancel.
Also, seasonal depression season is here, so.
To all those new in CrossFit, I want to give a little background to the drama behind the name CrossFit. Spring 2020, the CEO tweeted something extremely inappropriate regarding the passing of George Floyd. There was also rumors of inappropriate statements and Zoom calls, which resulted in many CrossFit gyms dropping the name. If you were in the CrossFit community at the time, feel free to expand in the comments down below. We'd all love to be more educated on this topic. It was extremely hard for me to get specific details when I wasn't involved in the community at the time.
You might be asking yourself, wait, drop the name? Isn't CrossFit the workout? No, CrossFit is technically a brand,
where gyms have to apply and pay a fee to be able to freely use a name, which allows them also to participate in the CrossFit Open. The CrossFit Open is where people go to compete to qualify for the CrossFit Games. That is where you've seen those insane people that are literally the most fit people on planet Earth. Not to scare you when you see those absolutely amazing athletes, what does it look like for those starting out like me? For me, it was learning the basic moves at first. Then I thought I'd be able to breeze through 1 week. I was so wrong.
This is when the video took a turn I didn't expect. I thought this video would be all about just gaining my confidence back weight training. I think I kind of got confidence, but in a different way. Recovery, recovery, recovery. The more intense a workout program, the more attention recovery you have to have. What was I doing? Trying to get into CrossFit while I was traveling to Europe and back, and then New York and back, and then across the province and back.
Think about you. My knees, yeah, I am begging you, begging you. I'll break the rules if it will get me to you.
And then across the country and back. Do not recommend.
Really too early. Just little update. I went to Sweden, red eye home, a day back for 2 days, did early CrossFit, flew to New York. I was just, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to CrossFit. But I committed to this video. I don't want to do it. I want to be transparent with you guys. I'm hating this CrossFit challenge right now. Like, my heart's not in it. Today, I didn't want to go, but I feel really proud that I could have just canceled the CrossFit class, but I showed up. Because a quote I've told myself 100 times is confidence is holding yourself accountable. If you make a promise to yourself, you keep it. And that's where confidence is, because you know if you say you're going to do something that you want to do, you'll do it. Also, I was talking to my boyfriend, like, I'm just beat. This travel schedule last little bit, it went from Denver to Edmonton to LA to Vegas to wisdom teeth surgery to Edmonton to Sweden to New York. I'm back for 2 days. I have to go to Whistler, then I'm back for a day and go to Ottawa, but I don't want to make excuses. It's a reminder, these intense workouts are awesome, but you have to do everything else. And you have to put up boundaries. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm stressed, I'm like, how much more can I add? Committing to a new plan, it's not simple. You might hate it, you might enjoy it. You kind of just have to test the water. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this at the end, but right now I'm just want to sleep. It's a good reminder. It's like, am I hating CrossFit or am I just not setting myself up for success? You know what would set me up for success? Sleep. Gratitude. I'm blessed to be able to do these. Gratitude.
CrossFit workout is usually commonly a workout of the day. There's different forms, there's MERPs, there's AMRAPs, which is many reps as possible. There's EMOMs, which every minute on the minute, and you kind of do these circuits. They give you a workout throughout the day and you're competing against people around the world also doing this workout, or just competing against yourself or people in your class. Every time it's gonna be different. It is a mix of calisthenics, cardio, and weight training. Very athletic, explosive movements, high reps, high weights, intensity. Versus what was mine? Well, mine involved learning a new skill and feeling broken. Originally, I planned this video thinking I would be doing these intense group classes by day 5. I would have this jack transformation showing my day 1 to day 30. Even though if someone came to me and said that was their goal, I'd be like, that sounds like a 3-month thing. It's funny how unrealistic expectations we put on ourselves. About to take flight 9 of 10 I've had to take on this challenge. So I'm in Ottawa right now. Something special, but I've just burnt the candle at all ends. Like, I'm doing this CrossFit challenge, which normal, but like I'm doing, see, I can't even get my words out. I'm doing nothing for recovery or optimizing. Even myself, I forget that when you're starting something new in fitness, especially something intense like CrossFit, you've got to have like the recovery aspect, and that's where motivation I feel is so lacking for me right now, and I think everyone can resonate with this, is when you're not sleeping, you're not eating properly, you're not resting, you're not doing your mobility work, you're not getting your massages, just like all those things. Yeah, you feel like crap, and so no wonder you're not motivated, because you feel broken. We're changing this. On the way home from Ottawa, I'm going to spend the next 10 days just focusing on recovery. So first, nutrients. Oh. Was I taking athletic screens this weekend in Whistler because I was drinking? And did I try and mask my hangover? Yes. So I'm just gonna start doing all these things again. I'm gonna get back on my healthy green juice. I'm gonna get on my sleep. I'm gonna get on my stretching. Health. Started this challenge, intense, go, fly to Sweden, jet lag, fly back, jet lag, take 2 days, do CrossFit class, go to New York, do intense CrossFit workouts in New York, come back, CrossFit workout, fly to Ottawa for 48 hours. I was broken. You know what is the worst thing for recovery? Not sleeping. Second worst thing, sleeping in the most unoptimal way, aka sitting like this in an airplane for 12 hours. I went from insane workouts to stationary sleeps on a plane, airport food. It wasn't even necessarily food. I tried to eat nutrients dense, but there was just no consistency. Constantly my sleep to wake to eat schedule, which usually you kind of want consistent every day when you're training for performance, was constant state of jet lag. I just got back from the gym. I landed yesterday in Vancouver. And this, I'm gonna sound so over dramatic, but this is just being open, what went across my head. This is the first time in so long I felt like my body was failing me. Like I can push through soreness, even like slight injuries, like I had a couple here on the channel. But this is the first time that I was like, oh my God, I feel broken. But like I literally just broke into tears. And then I literally just went in the bathroom and just, because YouTube filmed it, because yeah, sharing emotion. And like my hip is just killing. I was on the plane on the way home from Ottawa and I just started crying. I was in so much pain in my lower back. So I went to the flight attendant. I was like, can I just stand in the back for 30 minutes and just stretch? Like I literally cried. And it's really, really eye-opening because I think I pushed myself so much. Just pushing yourself and pushing yourself. And that's what I've been doing. And this is the first time that I'm like, had to step back and be like, no, this is, I don't want to say dangerous because that's being over dramatic, but I'm like, this is a slippery slope.
With a week left in this challenge, I knew if I wanted to be ready to be in a class, I'd have to start treating my body like someone that was doing CrossFit classes, not someone who's trying to get their back broken by an airplane seat. So it was time I got on the recovery train. First, I have to get back on my mobility and stretching. Second, proper warm-ups. Third, getting on a meal schedule to combat digestive issues from changing time zones 5.5 times in 20 days. 4, using my Theragun. Yes, this is not an ad. That thing was marvelous. 5, adding in a sauna because I just need to do something that felt like self-care. 6, sleep. Sleep became my priority. Anyone who got in the way of my sleep was cut. It was sleep, 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 sleep. Priority for the next 7 days. Given the state of the world, and you know, we just went through a global pandemic, the fact I didn't get sick in November is mind-blowing. Just like common cold, November, traveling, not sleeping, not an eating schedule, I don't know. I will say, and you've seen it in this video, you've seen it time and time again, I brought these Athletic Green travel packs, and so my eating was all over the place. Like sometimes it was just airport food and you just go and you're like, oh, it's this random cafe, that's all I got. This is when I swear by Athletic Greens. There's 75 vitamins and minerals and whole food sourced ingredients. Micronutrients are so important. When I'm traveling and I don't always have the most microdense foods, it's just I know at the end of the day I have these, so that was just so nice. Digestion is all over the place when traveling, so it helped with that. Such a good thing. You guys know I don't harp supplements ever on this channel. The only thing I ever do is Athletic Greens. Like they're NFS certified, which is like the top of the top. Pro athletes can take them. And now that I'm back in Vancouver, this was like insurance, and now this is a cherry on top, but it's also just part of my routine. I'm like, I'm on my health grind. Every day I'm having my green juice, I'm stretching, mobility, I'm focusing all around, I'm making sure I have my nutrients in. So this is also added bonus and why I still take it every single day here in Vancouver. Honestly, this just kind of worked out that this was the sponsor of this video, and I was like, I've never needed Athletic Greens more in my life. So it's just funny how the world works like that. So I like to mix mine with a little bit of milk and sometimes even a little sweetener. It is a little sweet. It doesn't taste like some green juice. It tastes good, but I just like to add a little milk. Sometimes this is just water and it just tastes like a matcha. And then I feel like, ooh. And so I got a deal for you guys. If you want some Athletic Greens, you can use, go to the link down in my description. And when you purchase Athletic Greens, you'll get 5 of these travel packs I brought with me. And a year's supply of their vitamin D3 K12 drops.
This is a whole year. Like if you look, either old branding they used to have, I've had this for over a year and it's still not a halfway, and I use it every single day, which is so good for your immunity as well. Which I just dropped them in. Oh, it's easy. Once again, Athletic Greens is gonna give you these 5 free travel packs. You're gonna get these vitamin D drops with your first purchase.
Final week to go, and I was determined to feel motivated and excited. Harry, who we talked about at the beginning of the video, he offered to give me tips throughout it. Honestly, I avoided him. Why? Because I bit off more than I could chew. I didn't have the time to look at the tips. I was in these classes hearing tips for personal training, and then I was on to the next thing. I was onto a plane, I was flying here, I was getting COVID tests. It was just all over the place, and I just wasn't putting up boundaries, and I spread myself too thin. I thought I could perfect my squat, deadlift, snatch, everything in 30 days while traveling around the world. It left me discouraged. It
felt frustrating. I didn't feel motivated because I felt I was constantly failing because I wasn't giving myself the time and boundaries to actually succeed, and yet I was feeling a failure, but in an unrealistic way. Like, there's no way I possibly could have done that. The last week, things just clicked. I started to learn snatches, and I started to feel like what I was doing, I could see how I could start making progress. I hadn't gotten a ton of progress, but I could finally be like, this is what I need to work on to improve, versus before. Have you ever had someone try to tell you something and you're so overwhelmed, you just sit there blankly and you're like, you're just talking? That's how I felt when I was doing snatches. I was tired, exhausted, dehydrated, and overwhelmed. And just learning how to snatch, I just literally stared like this. There was a time in my life, my whole entire life could revolve around weight training. When I played sports and was playing college basketball, my life was eat, sleep, study, basketball, nothing else. When I kind of got out of that, I just replaced basketball with weight training, and so I could be so committed and had that motivation, because that was really what my life revolves around, which you can take that as a positive or a negative. But in this last 30 days, my life couldn't revolve around it, yet I was expecting an outcome of someone completely committing their life to 30 days of CrossFit. I was expecting I could go 0 to 100, yet I had life. I had to go get COVID tests. I had to fly across the world. Well, I know it's not a regular life, but you hear what I'm saying. And I think it's something we all have to remind ourselves. When you're not motivated, is it because you don't truly want something, or you're just not giving yourself the opportunity to properly recover and replenish yourself? So that's why you're not motivated.
As we start fitness journeys, wherever your starting point is, I think we all have to stay curious. You have to really connect with yourself. After each session, each week, does this feel good? Am I feeling stronger? Am I feeling faster? Or am I just feeling run down and beat up? There's sore and there's overexercising, which is a tricky subject. It's not black or white. For some people, their lifestyles and ability to recover means only 2 to 3 workouts a week. Others have the time for massage, meal delivery, a personal trainer, 8 hours of sleep, etc., so they can train 2 times a day like a professional athlete. Normally, honestly, I'd fall into the second category. I do fitness YouTube. I usually could commit. But this month, I was on 10 airplane trips, 20 miles a day running around cities, filming content for brands, time zone changes. It was not possible at the end of the day, and I grew to hate CrossFit. By 21 days in, I dreaded it. I thought of every excuse not to go. And that was simply because I bit off more than I could chew. At the end, when I established a routine, I got enough sleep, ate at regular times, got my micronutrients in, drank my water, did my mobility work, etc. My motivation was there, and I progressed more in 1 week than I did in the 3 weeks prior.
Now, here's my before and after of both my body and my lifts. Now, I always document my body just because you never know. I'd rather have the documentation than not. I'm not doing this for physical changes. It was more so for the physical changes of my strength and performance and form. I think there was some changes, but the biggest thing for me was at the end being excited, because 20 days in, I was like, do I just despise weight training? I have some big series going, and weightlifting won't be the main point, but it's a big foundation that I need to really succeed in these athletic feats I'm trying to do. And I need to weightlift, and I was kind of leaving like, I don't want to step foot, I don't want to touch a weight. I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so broken, I feel hurt. And then when I started to sleep, recover, stretch, hydrate myself, do all those things, I was excited. And my victory in this is actually just being able to do a group class with my friend Joe. I finally felt confident enough that I could step foot in a group class with other people, that my form was there. It was not perfect, but it was enough that I wouldn't hurt myself. And the day has come. I finally get to do my first full CrossFit class with other people. Joe's taking me. I'm so excited. I'm nervous. I'm like, am I ready? Have I prepared for this moment? Let's go. And I could kind of keep up. There's little victories that you have to celebrate. And for me, it was being excited and feeling confident in a CrossFit class again. Even though I have an athletic background and fitness channel, I felt nervous because I knew my form wasn't there. And now at least I know where I need to improve on my form. And that is the thing about fitness. Do not feel guilty if your squat form isn't perfect. Very few people are built with it, especially a lot of us have mobility issues. It takes time, it takes practice, and you want to optimize your life so you're motivated and excited for it. Because when you're motivated, excited, that's how you establish your routine. And before you know it, it's just a habit and you're showing up there every time. And that time, consistent work over time creates progress in anything, in fitness especially. And I'm excited. Lifting heavier doesn't really appeal to me anymore. Something else does in fitness right now. And I have a big challenge that I've been hinting at that I want to work at. But to do it, weight training is an extremely important part of athletic performance, and which I need to do. I need to work on mobility, power, explosion, so many things. So this will be a nice foundation to one part of my overall athletic performance. And if weight training is your favorite thing and that's what you're concentrating on, that's awesome as too. But I'm excited to document the progress. So Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day. Go pet dog. Love you. Bye.